welcome back to Rambling Runoff. I am your host, Robert Rios. We're here with you today once again for another episode of Rambling Runoff. Sorry, now I'm out of breath. But yes, we're here with you to give you the sports news that y'all need to hear, or at least I think you need to hear. And of course, it's going to be jam-packed. We got NBA, MLS, a little bit of, the warm-up, whatever we think of in the warm-up, and then the rundown, which is always jumbled and packed. So make sure you stick around for all the hot stuff, all the news, all the updates that you need to hear. But yeah. As always, we got my guest host, my partner in crime, Mr. Danny Tan. Danny, say what's up to the people.
What up,
Thank you, Danny, for
everybody?
Oh, I thought you stopped talking for a second. All right, I see what you did there.
Yeah,
but,
gotta add the coffee.
Okay. Relax. Yeah, thank you. Are you ready for today's show? How does some NBA and MLS action sound to you?
Sounds awesome to me.
Okay. But yeah, man. I think we've been having a good run. I know last week we didn't have an episode. A lot's been happening personally, so. But we keep the show going. We keep the ball rolling here. But Danny, what you been up to? How you doing?
Oh, doing good. I mean, not much, just work. Yeah, I had a little bit of a hop, skip, and jump to Northern California. Went uni harvesting, which is pretty fun. Yeah, spent the weekend in the Bay. That was pretty cool.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, I haven't done much personally.
I mean, that's the first time I really gone out and done some. That was like 2 weekends ago already.
Oh, okay. But yeah, man, sounds good. No golf, no nothing yet.
No golf for a while. Always been shooting around at work, so my shot stays crisp. But yeah, other than that, not much. What about you, Robert?
I mean, like I said, I haven't been doing much, just going to work and just been pushing. But I mean, I've been good in the hood. I've been a little bit better though.
Good to hear, buddy.
I don't know why. I feel like content to ask you if you've read a good book. I don't know why.
Ooh. It's been a while since I even read a book. I have a handful of books that I collected from college that I always bought when the used book fair came around. And I read 2 probably of like the 17 that I bought for like $2-3 a piece. So I got to get around to reading those. But next week we'll turn the intro into a mini book report next week.
Ha! I mean, I haven't read a good book in a while either, so it's been a hot minute as well.
All right.
I think maybe college, so I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, none of my books are super, super important. I think one of them, like 3 of them are on animals. 2 of them are martial arts. And a lot of them are biographies of, like, one's like Albert Einstein. I forget the other ones, but yeah, there's just a random collection.
I can't even probably remember the last book I read. Like I said, probably college.
Yeah. Oh, you think so? It's not Junie B. Jones, you sure?
No, it's not Junie B. Jones.
Flat Stanley?
Flat Stanley? The fuck is that one?
Flat Stanley. You don't know Flat Stanley?
No.
Kids book?
No,
or Animorphs? You read Animorphs?
Okay, I do remember Animorphs, but I didn't really read that one.
Damn. I never read one of those either.
Then why the fuck would you... You're a fool.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Seen it, never read it.
Damn, you never read those? Those are pretty good.
No.
I like those mini short stories. Those are nice. Goosebumps. You read Goosebumps?
Here and there.
Here and there. Nice, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what other middle school books. Moby Dick.
All right, whatever, fool. Relax.
All right. Okay.
How about we...
let's get to the sports.
Yeah, let's do the sports. What the hell? The hell was that, Danny?
What?
Moby Dick.
It's a good book. You never read Moby Dick?
No, but I did read Charles Dickens.
What Charles Dickens book?
Christmas Carol, and
Christmas
I forgot
Carol.
there was another
Tale of
one.
Two Cities.
It was a Tale of Two Cities. There you go.
Nice.
We both read that one actually.
Yeah, that was for class though. You didn't
Yeah.
read it for fun. Come on, man.
I remember that one. If you're listening to this, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. The big W.
But yeah, you ready to move on into some sports?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, and of course, Danny, we're gonna talk about your favorite topic and the most popular thing that's been going on around here at Rambling Runoff and in the sports landscape, which is Major League Soccer.
MLS, yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna talk some soccer again, which we haven't done in a little bit. But yeah, we're at match day 10. Which, Danny, I know when the season started, does it feel like the season just started or no? How does it feel to you as a non-soccer person?
It feels like every season other than the ongoing NBA season feels like it just started to me. Except for NHL, because I know they run kind of parallel with NBA. But every other sports season feels like it just started.
I know, yeah, dude. Like, we're already on match day 10.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? What, the season started like the beginning of April? Yeah. Almost, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we've kind of somewhat come a long way since then. But the season's starting to open up a bit, in my opinion. In which I don't know if you've kept up with any soccer stuff. I know you have, of course.
Of course, like a good soccer following boy, I've always kept up with the MLS.
Here, foo. But yeah, I think what we're gonna do here, we're gonna run through the score lines and then go through the table, and I'm gonna give you my opinion on what teams I think are pretty good on the hot seat on the table, top of the table, and what teams at the bottom I think need to improve just a bit, and what teams kind of surprised me, good or bad. How's that sound, Danny?
Ooh, let's run it.
Okay. So, going down the line of games, we had a Nashville, I believe, yeah, hosting Atlanta, red hot Atlanta team in my opinion, defeating them 3-1. You had goals from Fafa Picault, Theo Bunbury, and Jacob Schaffelberg, and then the lone goal for Atlanta came from Thiago Almada, which I'll get back to this in a bit. Then you had Miami taking down Columbus. Columbus, I would say having up and down season, but I think they're on the ups. But it's hard to go up against Miami when you have Leonardo Capana and him getting a brace in that game. DC United getting I would say a rare win considering they beat on Charlotte. They won 3-0. New England, who's kind of surprised me, tied 1-1 with Cincinnati. Toronto got the lone goal win, was a goal by a surprising CJ Sapong, who's probably played for almost every team in the Eastern Conference at this point. They defeated New York 1-0. Austin and San Jose tied it up 2-2. I saw the highlights for that one. It was a back and forth affair, but I think Austin fans were pretty disappointed. Then we had Chicago and New York Red Bulls, which I think both these teams just, I don't know, man. They just need something to get them cooking and going. CF Montreal defeated Kansas City 2-0. You had goals from Bryce Duke and Matteo it's French. Chenre. I don't know. Sorry. My French is poquito.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know a little bit of French. I know how to introduce myself, but that's like it. Bonjour, je m'appelle Rabot. Comment c'est-vous? And that's it. That's all I got for you.
Wow.
But
amazing.
What? Thank you. And then next up we had Portland defeating St. Louis. Surprisingly, Evander got a goal, and then Yimi Chara scored the second. The lone goal for St. Louis was scored by Celio Martins. And then we had two goose eggs at the bottom of the score lines I'm reading. Real Salt Lake and Seattle tied 0-0, and Vancouver and Colorado tied 0-0. I'm surprised Seattle didn't get a score against Real Salt Lake, considering I would say Seattle is the more dominant team. But there was one red card, which was given to Real Salt Lake's Pablo Ruiz in the 93rd minute of stoppage time. So yeah, that goes. Yeah, I know, right? Why would you? Yeah,
right up on the end. Why would you do that?
I don't know, man. It's not the first time.
Like the Draymond Green stomp.
Yeah, basically. But
why would you do that?
I don't know, man. Some people just kind of lose their heads. Maybe he picked up double yellows. That might also been it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it happens, but it is what it is. But yeah, those were the score. Oh, and there was also I forgot this other game. Orlando defeating LA Galaxy 2-0. Oopsie, almost forgot. Oh, no, actually, there was one more game on Sunday.
Yep, exactly.
Wait, what'd you say, bro?
I was just about to say that there's another game on Sunday, the single game.
Oh, thank you. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, and then it was another goose egg of a game, though. Minnesota and Dallas. Dallas
Womp womp.
on the up, though, on the charts. So we'll get into that right now. Looking at the table, New England in the Eastern Conference is up, or actually, tied for first with the opponent they just faced. Cincinnati was 21. So, but New England on goal differential +7, taking the first spot, and then Cincy in second with +2. And then I think the team that should be hot and should be at the top of the table, we got Atlanta United coming in at third. Then we got Nashville, then it's New York, Columbus, DC, Orlando, and then Toronto rounding off the 9th spot. And going down the line, we got Philly, Chicago, Miami, Montreal, Charlotte, and then New York Red Bulls, who no one's out of it yet. I mean, it's still early. I mean, you go from 15th to 9th in like 2 games with a win and maybe 2 wins and a draw, or 1 win and a draw. So you just gotta get some scores going in your favor and hope that other teams start losing. In the Western Conference, we have Seattle taking the top spot from St. Louis, just by a point. However, Seattle now with 20 points and St. Louis with 19. LAFC is in third. Then, as I mentioned, Dallas going up the table and 4th. San Jose in 5th. Houston in 6th. Minnesota in 7th. Then we got Portland. And rounding out the top 9 is Vancouver. Then going down the list of the rest of them, we got Salt Lake, Austin, Colorado, LA Galaxy, and in 14th, we got Sporting Kansas City. So, going through the Western Conference, I think Seattle, who is not competing in Champions League this year, is doing fairly well. As I aforementionedly said, they're not focusing on a bunch of different things. They're just focusing on one thing, and that's playing good soccer and getting into the playoffs in MLS, which last season they missed because they were focusing on Champions League and then going to the FIFA Club World Cup. And as I've said on this podcast and other podcasts, St. Louis, who has just been on fire with 6 wins, 1 draw, and the 3 losses so far. You know, who would have thought that they would have been like a really good team at this point of the season? I mean, in the beginning, coming off like 4 or 5 wins in a row, like, dude, who would have thought of that? Then of course LAFC, who's been consistently well, the reigning defending champs, 5 wins, 3 draws, and no losses so far.
I know it's hard for you to say that, Robert.
It's okay.
I know it's tough for you to say.
They still have 18 points, however, even though they are a game back, technically. And then Dallas, with their 15 points plus 1 goal differential, which is the lowest from the top 3, considering Seattle, St. Louis, and LAFC have plus 10. They got plus 1. But then surprisingly, looking at this list now, San Jose, what the hell? 4 wins, 3 draws, and 3 losses. All right, I guess. But they're at 0 goal differential, so they could easily be passed up by anybody with just a draw. And then Houston as well. And then Minnesota and Portland coming at the bottom. I'm not going to say I'm surprised by Vancouver being 9th. I mean, it's the bottom, the last playoff spot. But it is what it is. And then, yeah, the bottom teams, I'm not even going to say names. You already know. I mean, just a few strings of wins, like I said. 2 wins, maybe a win and a draw will get you at least sniffing 9th place to get into the play-in games. So, I mean, it's still early, in my opinion. But, yeah, right now would be a good time to start making some moves, considering we just had the MLS transfer portal just close. And we're going to wait and see what happens in the summer for the rest of the teams. Looking back to the Eastern Conference, New England, I'm still surprised by them, as well as Cincinnati. I would have said ATL should be the top spot. But, hey, if Bruce Arena, I think he's the longest tenure MLS coach at this time. I think he might be 70 years old. You know, he's turned it around, considering they had a really bad season and had a good season and a really bad season. Now they're having a good season this year. So, good for them. Cincinnati as well. I wouldn't say I'm too recognizable with their squad, but like I've mentioned on other podcasts as well, they focused on building the team, which takes longer, but now they're finding success. Nashville, now being in the Eastern Conference, is faring really well, considering they usually have really good defense, and they have one reigning, I think, was the Golden Boot MVP winner, Honey Mukhtar, who, even without the ball, just destroys defenses. And even when he's not scoring goals, he's a really good assist man. So you have a good double or triple threat depending on how you play him. And in New York City, who I think is not playing that well, somehow has 15 points. I mean, they have 4 wins, but I wouldn't say they're a good team. Orlando, the reigning U.S. Open Cup champions, 4 wins, 2 draws, and the 3 losses. Hanging in there for a bit. The one team I would have actually thought they'd be doing a little bit better would be Philly. They are in Champions League at the moment, but hopefully they could turn it around, depending if they move on in the tournament. But Danny, do you have anything to talk about in regards to the MLS? I know you don't watch a lot of footy, but you're here now, and don't want to just be talking into my mic, so hit me with your best shot.
I'm glad my Columbus Crew, number 6 in the East. I love it. I love to see it.
Oh my gosh.
I hate to see LA Galaxy. I know it's your favorite team. Damn, down to 13. But
It's
you know
okay.
what? That's how the Lakers started out. Look where they are now.
That is true.
Bad start to the season doesn't mean a bad season.
I like that analogy.
Yeah,
I like that you just said that.
You know what's crazy though? I never noticed that New York Red Bulls. Like, that's crazy. Instead of picking a mascot, they just went straight up sponsor.
Whoa, you want to hear something more crazier?
What is it?
Because they're owned by Red Bulls.
Oh, well, I get it, but you know what I mean? Like, Red Bull, I thought they would be like, just make up a sponsor.
Do you want to hear something more crazier than that?
What's it?
Red Bull owns like 3 teams, and they're all more or less named after Red Bulls.
God, so dumb.
So there's New York Red Bulls, and then there's, I think they're called Red Bull Salzburg. I forgot where they're at. And then there's also in the Division 1 in Germany, so here's the backstory. So technically speaking, they're not called, what are they called? Oh, technically speaking, they're not called Red Bull Leipzig. They're called RB Leipzig, which the R and the B is supposed to stand for something else.
See. Yeah, for Red
because technically speaking, they're not allowed to be called after the sponsor.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
To get around it, they just call themselves RB Leipzig.
Which is crazy. And
then yes,
it's
every
crazy
team
too.
Every team has the Red Bull logo, by the way.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Like, you would think they wouldn't let that happen just in case, the sponsorship or the ownership falls through. Like, it was probably impossible, but what if Red Bull goes down? Or for whatever reason, it has to, like, liquidate all assets. Like, are they still called Red Bulls? Do they just, like, all of a sudden just change their mascot? That's crazy.
So, yeah, it's FC Red Bull Salzburg. And then, yeah, technically, actually, it gets more goofier. Sometimes they're referred to as New York Red Bulls, but I think officially they should be Red Bull New York.
I like New York Red Bulls.
Yeah.
All those New York teams, it's like...
It's kind of confusing.
New York Mets, New York Knicks, New York Red Bulls. It's not the other way around.
Let me see. Where is Salzburg? I'd like to know where are you guys from? What country is this? I know it's in Europe, so...
Salzburg. It's not in the UK.
No, I don't think so. Oh, Austrian. So
Wow.
they're in the Austrian First Division, I believe. So yeah. Oh, yeah, I think they also just go by RB Salzburg. But also
Salzburg.
it's still just Red Bull. But I think in Germany, yeah, they had to like change the meaning and everything because they're not allowed to technically be called after the sponsor.
I think that's a pretty sensible rule. It just makes sense to build your own brand and stuff as like a club first, and then have the sponsor on there in case anything. Like, it seems like a smarter move for me, but I don't know. Red Bull got a lot of pull, huh?
Oh no, and there used to be a 4th team. I think it was in Africa or Australia, but it ended up working out. So I think it was in Africa. So
Damn.
that team disbanded.
Damn.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that at all.
Well, I mean that team's been there. So quick MLS history lesson. If we'll take a deep dive. So yeah, it used to just be New York. Oh, I think they used to be called the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. They were named after one of the owners or inspired by some manager who used to run like a radio station, which used to be like Metro something. So they named it after that, but they didn't want. I don't think. Yeah, they weren't playing in New York, but they wanted to be called New York, so that's why they gave them the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars.
Damn. Should have kept Metro Stars. I like
no.
that.
Well, no. Well, Red Bull bought the team, so.
Yeah, but you
So, of
changed
course
history. It could have been the Metro Stars sponsored by Red Bull.
No. They were like,
what I
nah,
mean?
Danny.
Like,
Yeah, I know what
nah.
you mean.
Yeah.
But,
You know what I mean? Like Magic Johnson and like, all these guys, they buy, Jordan bought Charlotte. He didn't make it the Charlotte Jordans, or the Charlotte Airs. That's crazy.
remember, soccer's a different breed.
Yeah, MLS is kind of crazy.
Well, not MLS. This is just Red Bull. Like I said, so they have a team in the U.S., they have a team in the first division in Germany, and they have a team in the Austrian division.
So it's just Red Bull. Red Bull just will not stop with their branding.
No.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's just branding. It's just, what. I don't know. I don't work for the team. I don't work for the company, Danny. I don't know how.
Yeah, not a. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Not a
sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why they told the. But that's why the Bundesliga in Germany had that rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, similarly, that's what Manchester City has. So they have the team here, the New York City, and I think they have a team in Australia, and I forgot where else. But yeah.
I mean, just 2 teams is too many. That's crazy,
Well, I guess we're taking a deep dive. So I think, and I'm putting my tinfoil hat on because I haven't seen that rumor pop up in a while. So the reason why there's 2 teams in New York, specifically in that region, is because the New York Cosmos, I don't know if you ever heard of them. This guy named Pele used to play for them a long time ago.
Oh, I know Pele.
So the newer Cosmos, the more modern 2010s Cosmos, they were supposedly going to get a stadium somewhere in the outskirts of New York. So they'd be in New York, in like real New York, because currently New York Red Bulls play in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I believe that's where they play. Somewhere in New Jersey. Not in New York. So you have to take I don't know, do they take trams or buses? Or I don't know. There's no, we don't have that around here. Trains.
Subway.
So it's kind of out of the way. So currently New York City plays at Yankee Stadium because the Yankees in Manchester City went 50-50 or half and half almost. So the rumor was a long time ago that I read in 2015, 2014 was that Cosmos were going to get a stadium. It wasn't going to be nothing too big, but they were going to get a home because, that guy named Pele played for them a long time ago. So why not? Even though they were playing it, even though they were playing in the 2nd/3rd division. And then once the MLS heard about it and they were going to go to the city, MLS was like, "Oh, hell no. We're going to bring a team here." And then that paused whatever conversations New York Cosmos had with New York, with the government of New York or whatever. And that scrapped that idea.
Damn.
I haven't seen that article or that rumor in a while, so I don't know if it's any true anymore. But yeah, that's what I was hearing. And to this day, New York City FC still plays at Yankee Stadium on that tiny ass field.
Damn, man, it's tough being a team in New York. Just everything is so dense.
There's no room.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard in LA, but there's a little bit more space in LA.
No, yeah. Well, because everything's kind of old around here, so you can easily take out something and replace it. Might be some gentrification, but it is what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot more empty spaces too. Like random warehouses and whatnot. You can take out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But that was your New York football.
New York minute.
Yeah, your New York minute. Also, R.I.P. to the Rochester Rhinos.
R.I.P.
They used to be. Well, they're not even called the Rochester Rhinos. They got bought out, and then they changed their name to Rochester United FC, and then they went under this past year.
Oh, RIP.
They were the last lower division team to win the U.S. Open Cup before the MLS. No, during the MLS tenure.
Man,
I think they won it in 1999. They were the last team to win it.
Sheesh.
That was not an MLS team.
That's crazy.
Now they're gone. But anyways, what did we miss? Is there anything else that I missed in regards to the MLS? I think I covered just most of it. I mean, it was just a general sports talk. I will say, I'm gonna stay on this high horse for Atlanta. With Thiago Almada, you guys gotta be doing a little bit better. I mean, they're in top 3, but I would expect them to be top of the table sometime soon. Let's see how long New England can hold out. I wouldn't say they have anybody notable. I mean, they have Carlos Hill on that team, and he's pretty good. And for the teams on the bottom, I think Miami, maybe Philly will turn it around and get into the playoffs. I mean, it's still early. And then for the West, I don't think KC is going anywhere. I think they're stuck at the bottom. I think this is just their season. You have Galaxy, Colorado, Austin, and Salt Lake, who could all easily turn it around. They all have decent teams. I don't know about Colorado. I haven't really been hearing much out of their camp. But for LA, Austin, and RSL, at least they're usually fighting contenders. So hopefully they also do make a remarkable comeback. But yeah, I think that kind of fills up our time for the MLS talk. Just a little check-in for the MLS. Dan, do you have anything to ask? Any questions?
No questions.
All right, and then we'll move on in our programming to something Danny actually wants to talk about, and we're going to be talking some NBA playoffs, which are currently happening on my television, and I know Danny's television or his laptop or whatever, but Danny, this is your form, this is your wheelhouse. Take it away. Where are we at in the NBA playoffs currently?
We are just cleared of round 1 as of Sunday. So round 2 is underway. There are, as of probably in like 40 minutes from now, there will be 2 teams with 2 games down.
As of this recording.
Yep, as of this recording. And game 1 will probably take place right after we wrap up this recording. That'll be the Lakers and Warriors. But yeah, round 1 was a crazy set of matches. Yeah, number 1 team in the league, Milwaukee Bucks, got taken out by the Miami Heat. What an upset! It was like 92% favored the Bucks, and the Heat. Jimmy Buckets, playoff Jimmy, came out, destroyed them. Giannis coming back in game 3, didn't matter. Took out the Bucks anyway. Yeah, Robert, what did you think of that?
I mean, Giannis looked fairly disappointed. I think he really wanted to win that, but
oh yeah,
when Jimmy Buckets turns it on and Tyler Hero plays well, I mean, the Heat is on, as the song says. So I'm not surprised. If I'm gonna keep it a book. Like, I've been telling you the Heat, but you've been like, oh no, the Heat.
No, I mean the Heat have been playing trash all season. Then
Yeah,
Tyler Hero went out with that injury as well.
Oh yeah, he hurt his hand, right?
The hand, yeah, broken hand.
Oops.
No, I mean he did pretty good in that first game until he broke his hand.
Yeah.
But you never expect the move they had with Kevin Love. You thought they'd be doing a lot better, but even after that trade, they did mediocre. They still held their 8th place seed and were able to get into the play-in. But 7th place seed. But I don't know. Milwaukee was such a strong team, number 1 team in the league. I think they had the number 2 defense, great offensive team, and it was just Jimmy Buckets willing this team to make it through. I mean, he literally put the team on his back and said, "Follow me." It was crazy. It's the most. He might be the only player that is able to turn on that switch in playoff time. Like most other players, all these stars, they're able to turn it up in playoff mode, but they got a little bit to start, and they never have like a terrible season and then turn it on in playoff time. It's usually, they're building in the season. They have a couple of great games here and there, like Jimmy did, but overall, I'd say this season was very mediocre. To him, he'd probably say it was disappointing, the regular season. But then playoff time comes around, man, and he just turns it up. It's crazy.
I mean, like I said, I've been believing in the Heat, but you've been very negative on these guys.
Damn, I mean, they've just been bad all season. You just never expect it. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But typically, one man can't win you a basketball game,
Yes, that is also true.
Drop 50, 60 games or 50, 60 points, and you can still lose that basketball game. But Jimmy, he just does everything right, He's still scoring, but he's still able to pass. He's making the right plays. The team is still getting involved. He's still playing two-way. But yeah, great win for the Heat. Super disappointing for the Bucks. This is gonna, they're gonna have to make some moves. Like this is not what was supposed to happen. Something's got to change in Milwaukee.
I know it does suck, but keeping it on the current state of games that are happening, I'll go through them really quick. In the Western Conference, we got the Nuggets versus the Suns, the Warriors versus the Lakers, keeping it in California. In the Eastern Conference, as we've been mentioning the past couple minutes, the Heat moved on. They are playing the Knicks, which I have a strong opinion about. And then also in the East, we got the 76ers versus the Celtics. So, Danny, let's go into the West. If you can, let's give your 2 cents on both of these series in the West. We'll start in Denver first. Denver and Phoenix. Who do you think is the more affordable winner in this matchup?
Right now, we've got the advantage of seeing 2 games pass. Denver looks so good. So with those 2 games down, I like Denver a lot. Phoenix is really gonna have to do a lot to bring the series back. They let those 2 games go. They weren't able to steal one on the road. So the Suns better defend their home court really well. But if it goes to Game 7, I see Denver taking it.
Yeah, but
both these teams handily won their first round matchup as well. The Nuggets taking out the Timberwolves handedly, giving away only 1 game, and the Suns taking out the Clippers, did another gentleman's sweep 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and on the flip side of the West, we got the Warriors and the Lakers facing up. Yeah, that Warriors-Kings game, or that whole series, was incredible. That was nearly like a Western Conference Finals series. That was how exciting it was.
I mean, it was basically
going back and forth. Really,
it was Game 7. It was do or die.
Exactly. Went all the way to Game 7. The Warriors really showed their veteran championship mentality. They really took that young Sacramento Kings team to their limit and kind of broke them in Game 7. And they won on the road. So the Warriors look really good now. On the flip side, the Lakers, 7 versus the 2 seed, taking out the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah.
If I feel like the first 2-3 games looked rocky for the Lakers, if I'm being biased. But then after into going to 4 and 5, it was like, damn, you're killing them, bro. Chill, damn. What were the score lines? Let me see. What was the? I'm trying to find them. Before that, the Grizzlies did beat them 116-199, which was a whooping. But even prior to that, it was 111-101, and then let me see. I'm trying to find the other score line where they just. It was the last game, 117-111. Oh no, excuse me, that was the wrong one. Well, that was the OT game. No. Even then. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. Where the heck?
The last game, Game 6, was 125-85.
Thank you.
40-point difference.
I literally just found it, dude. The game was over in halfway through the third quarter.
Oh yeah.
The Grizzlies
they benched the starters with 8 minutes left in the fourth. Crazy.
I know, and it was funny because in the beginning of the game, I'm forgetting her name. It's the older lady that covers ESPN. What's her name? Laura Dirk. I forgot her name. But Laura Birch, I think that's her name.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay, sorry if I mispronounced.
Doris.
Doris. Yeah, Doris.
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh man, the Lakers are holding on for dear life without AD on the floor," and then after halftime, they didn't have to like have him out on the floor because
No.
the Grizzlies just weren't shooting anything.
Yeah. I mean,
But,
AD was
I mean,
he did so well in the first. Well, he was a little rocky at the beginning of the first quarter, but picking up speed and going into the second quarter, he was really dominant.
I mean, he wasn't scoring points, but he was getting blocks, assists. He was doing all the other stuff. I'm like, damn, like, bro, chill. I'm like, everyone chill. Like, you guys are you're killing them, bro. Like, chill.
Yeah, stop it. You're already dead.
Yeah, exactly. But it is what it is. The Lakers, I don't know. I can't tell if the Lakers were actually good or if the Grizzlies just were not good at all. So we have to wait and see how they fare against the Warriors, which I think the Warriors were very formidable and took advantage of the Lakers this past season. So we'll have to wait and see when this series gets going. I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed that the Lakers keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And that they play well. So
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Who do you think is gonna win this series?
I mean, I'm rooting for the Lakers. But they really have to keep up. That dominant defense that they showed in Game 6. They have to be on that level the whole 48 minutes for every game of this series to stand a chance. Because the Warriors were starting to mesh in that Game 7. Andrew Wiggins was looking back to form. Steph Curry dropping 50. Everyone was just meshing well together. And, the Warriors are just a team that shoots well. Even when they shoot poorly, almost every other player can drop double digits, if not 20 points apiece.
Like, they have someone to pick up the slack.
Exactly. The Lakers, the same, but in this series, their sharpshooter, Malik Beasley, veteran sharpshooter, where was he at? I think Darvin Ham lost confidence in him. They didn't play him. So some of the other shooters, Lonnie Walker didn't get much play time. Handful of the guards were not. The Lakers ran like 7-8 players, really. They didn't really run that deep. With players in the rotation,
and they went small.
Yeah, exactly. So they really have to be able to find players who can still provide offense even on a bad shooting night. So Austin Reeves, I think that's him. That's Rui Hachimura. That's D'Lo for sure. Even if D'Lo's got a bad night, Vando's got to pick up some slack. He's been great on defense, but there's the little things. Offensive board putbacks that he's not been able to convert in this last series. So just those little things I think will be huge, especially against Kevon Looney, who was a force. He was a brick wall on that offensive side. He got every rebound for Golden State and more. Like 24 rebounds, I believe, in the last game. It's crazy. He was averaging at least like 15 rebounds a game. With Domantas Sabonis there, that number should not be as high as it is. But the Lakers, with AD being a little bigger, should handedly take Kevon Looney out of the equation. But we'll see how it is. I'm rooting for the Lakers. This will be another LeBron James Steph Curry matchup in the playoffs. I'm excited to see that. So, yeah, I mean, this is must see TV. If you guys aren't watching NBA basketball, other 3 matchups are they're good to see here and there, but you have to watch this. It's another LeBron James, Steph Curry matchup. Golden State stayed pretty much the same team since they last faced LeBron. LeBron's got a whole new squad leading the Lakers with AD. This is going to be a great series.
No, I'm looking forward to it as well. I would say though it's LeBron versus the Warriors again.
Yep.
There's the SpongeBob meme where it's the fish, where like LeBron's the old man.
Yeah.
And all the fish are like, "How many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man?"
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
but,
they're like clamping their fists.
Yeah. But moving on into the East, who we got? We got the Heat and the Knicks, and the 76ers and the Celtics. We'll start with the Heat and the Knicks, even though we did already hype up the Heat. But I proved you wrong, Danny Tan. The Knicks were going to beat the Cavs, and you did not believe me. You did not believe me. You did not believe in the Knicks. I know you thought.
Yeah, I did
You
thought.
thought
I did
wrong.
think. I thought that the Cavaliers were a much more well-rounded team, but the Knicks really show how deep they were. You know, everyone off the bench can provide something. Josh Hart did really great off the bench. Jalen Brunson really took it to him. I mean, yeah, they just had a lot of pieces that worked well. And, just like we were saying, just like Golden State, if one person didn't do well, there was another person to step up, next man up mentality to pick up the slack. Yeah, so, I mean, congratulations to the Knicks. They did really well.
Who's the other guy? Barrett?
RJ Barrett.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yep. RJ Barrett. Julius Randle did a little better near the end of that series, even though he got injured. But, yeah, I mean, as of this recording, Miami stole game 1 from the Knicks. Jimmy Butler sadly got injured at the end of that game, but finished it out. And the Heat held on to win, steal one road game.
I thought he was ruled out for the rest of the game.
No, he went back onto the floor, finished the game out. He shot his free throws, moved around a little bit. Then they pulled him out at the end of that fourth. But he played, majority, if not the whole of the fourth quarter, if I remember correctly.
Well, I'm talking about the second game, the game that's currently happening as of this
Oh,
recording.
yes, yeah. No, I was talking about game 1. He continued to play through game 1, but yeah, he's been sitting out the entirety of this game. And as of this recording right now, the Heat are leading the New York Knicks 96-93 without Jimmy Butler, which is crazy to say. This should be an easy win. Yep, rolled his ankle on a drive play.
He rolled his ankle on you, bro. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for a good competitive matchup. I would hate for the Knicks to get this far and then just shit the bed,
Yeah, I mean, it's been competitive so far. I mean, both games have been pretty close. The game that we're watching live and seeing update right now is pretty close. 3-point game. There's still 5 minutes left in the fourth. But the more exciting matchup, I think, in the East, the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics, 2 seed and 3 seed. Oh man! Did you watch this game 1, Robert?
I did not.
Oh man!
I heard that Embiid guy is pretty good. I heard he's from Africa or something.
Yes, Embiid from Cameroon. Just named today MVP. Let's give a round of applause, everybody.
Unless you're driving.
Yes, unless you're driving. But man, I knew it. I knew he could do it.
All right, wait. Before we get to that. Wait, what? No, before we get to that, let's talk about this matchup. 76ers,
all right, sure.
Celtics. Before you get to, you start jonesing for your boy.
This game 1, no Embiid. It was 76ers. Paul Reed filled in for him. It was a close game, up and down, surprisingly close. With no Embiid, the Celtics should have handily won this game. They should have kept Robert Williams III in there majority of the time. They could have swapped him out for, I don't know, maybe even Blake Griffin, someone athletic, a little longer.
Did you say Blake Griffin?
Yeah, Blake Griffin.
Oh gosh, continue.
He on the Celtics, man.
Yeah, I know he is.
Yeah, but yeah, he.
You're laughing,
well, the
but
Celtics,
it's true.
I know, he did. Sadly, I mean, he showed at the end of the season. He showed a little bit of his old self, Lob City, dunking on people. But yeah, I mean, the Celtics are really deep as well. In this playoff series, they really haven't given their bench a chance to shine. But the Sixers stuck it to them at the end of that fourth quarter. It was a back and forth. I believe 5 minutes into the fourth, there was 13 lead changes, 13 ties. Back and forth. All the way up until the handful of last minute plays to get the win. There was a big three from James Harden. There was a turnover from the Celtics straight into Tyrese Maxey's hand. There was a Tyrese Maxey drive that was debated to be a blocking foul or a charge. Ended up being a blocking foul. I think those three really gave the Sixers the win. But James Harden turned it up 45 points on the night, tying his playoff high. Tyrese Maxey with 26. Jason Tatum, 36, not enough. I mean, this game should have been a Celtics win, but the Sixers showed, and James Harden showed, he's able to be whatever the team needs him to be. If he needs to be the scorer, he can be the scorer. He can be the James Harden of old, Houston's James Harden, able to score, drop 40 on him, step back threes. But he can also be a facilitator in that matchup, He can give 6 assists and run the offense in a way that kind of frustrates the Celtics defense a little bit. But man, that was a game to watch. Yeah, and just wrapping up this NBA talk. Sorry, I gotta give my boy some flowers.
I mean, you don't have to wrap it up yet, but what you got?
Joel Embiid named MVP of the 2022-23 season. The Kia MVP, Joel Embiid from Cameroon.
Not sponsored.
Hashtag not a sponsor. But yeah, started playing basketball at 15 years old. Arguably snubbed for 2 years. I'll say 1. Changed his game dramatically. Started his NBA career injured. Was considered a soft big. Couldn't take a foul. Couldn't take it to the rim. Couldn't play a physical game. But, he turned his game around, improved his jump shot. Is able to play pick and roll amazingly with James Harden. He's worked really hard. I know this year's MVP race has been a little controversial, but
it was tight though.
Yeah, extremely tight. I think to me, my two were, we talked about it for a couple weeks now, a couple episodes, but I had Embiid or Jokic right up there, but my favorite this whole time was Joel Embiid. Just the way that he played, the dominance on both ends of the floor, doing the little things and knowing when to foul, knowing when not to foul. There's still a little bit in him that, makes mistakes here and there, as of any player, any star, there's a little bit of mistakes here and there, but Joel Embiid really did a great job this season. Didn't play a full 82 games, but, what star does nowadays.
I mean, he scored like 30, 40 points a game almost.
Yep.
Like a good couple games. Like, it was just ridiculous.
33 points a game this season. Yeah, I mean, congratulations to Joel Embiid. It was a long time coming.
Also, he's been snubbed. You're saying that it was stolen. No, he was snubbed he came in second the past 2 seasons.
Yep, the past 2. I would say last season should have definitely been Jokic. I think last season Jokic, his stats were just, you could not argue it. The stats at the end of the regular season were just insane. I think it was like 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, something like that. It was something crazy. Joel Embiid, congratulations, my man.
Yeah, I'm doing some quick research right now. Embiid gathered 73 of the 100 available first place votes, 915 in total. Jokic had 15 first place votes, 674 in total, while Antetokounmpo captured 12, 606. Boston Celtics forward Jason Tatum finished 4th, and Oklahoma City Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was 5th.
Yeah,
what hell of a name.
Shai, great player. Eventually he will be MVP caliber. I think it's a little early to be giving him some votes, but yeah, definitely. I agree with all of those votes. Tatum had a great year, but I think Embiid, both ends of the floor. Giannis led his team to first place in the East. Jokic leading his team first place in the West. But I think Embiid just dominant everywhere. Philly had a couple of injuries, which I think hampered them to their seeding as third in the East. But yeah, man, just really proud of this guy. Changed his game entirely, and it's just a dominant big now.
Yeah, straight facts. And some more facts I could give you guys. Let me see. He had a career year, leading the NBA in scoring for a second straight season while improving his efficiency, averaging career highs of 33.1 points and 54.8% shooting, to go along with the 10.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and 1.7 blocks per game. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I guess this is how you know I'm terrible at predicting. The guy I was predicting to be in the top 3, let alone the top 5, didn't even make it. Sorry, Damien. Maybe next time.
Yeah, you crazy for that one, man.
What do you mean? He was good at that
crazy.
time. That was when the race was like super duper tight a couple months ago. Nah, I mean,
I think he was number 5 at scoring.
Yeah.
At the time, but it didn't make sense to me. The team was at the bottom of the league, Blazers. Other than scoring, he wasn't an assist leader. I think he just wasn't impactful enough to be named the NBA MVP.
All right. We get it, Danny.
But yeah. Hopefully, Embiid still out. I think he's questionable for Game 2. I don't think they're gonna play him Game 2 because they were able to steal one on the road.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna give him as much time to rest as possible. And hopefully, I believe that the Sixers are gonna take out the Celtics and make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they're gonna make it out of the Eastern Conference to face whatever Western Conference team makes it out. Man, I don't know. Western Conference is tough.
Well, very quickly, because we didn't really. I know we've hyped teams up, but we haven't said clearly. And I wanted to ask you, before we end our segment here, in the West, who goes to the Western Conference Final? We'll begin with the Nuggets and the Suns.
I think it's gonna be Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Robert?
Well, give me one thing on why the Nuggets are gonna make it out.
I think Jokic is too much of a threat, and even last game showed it. Jamal Murray, he was great game 1, game 2, laying an egg. I think he scored 4 points, but everyone else stepped up. KCP hit big threes. Jokic was able to turn on the offense, and Michael Porter Jr. was still pretty big. And their defense really frustrated the Phoenix Suns. Just Jokic's ability to pass and from a standing position take a shot, pulling a trigger and sinking it. I think it's just really tough. I think game 2, DeAndre Ayton really showed that he's not a soft guy. He can dominate that big position, but I think Denver takes it. What about you?
That was more than one thing, but I'm also gonna take the Nuggets.
Yep.
One word. Jokic. That's it.
Jokic. Yeah. That's good.
You just busted. You just busted a Chuck move. 2 words.
Oh yeah.
Kevin
2 words.
Nash. What is it?
Steve
Kevin Nash
and Chris Paul.
Must watch TV.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's more than 2 words. Well, you only gave me. I know. I meant it like as an example.
Okay.
He's like, all right, give us 2 words.
Okay, so here's 2 words. Nash and Paul.
That's
And is
3
not
words.
a word.
That's 3 words.
This one was and a word. Oh, that's so funny.
That was the birth of TNT.
Yeah. Oh my
right there.
goodness. Yeah.
And then when they added Shaq, where the ring though, Chuck?
Yeah. Dude, no, Chuck. You don't have a championship mentality. How many rings you got though, Chuck?
Like,
I got 4 rings.
Bro? He's like, we played in the Olympics. We won gold medals. What else do you want from me?
You don't know, Chuck. You're never going back to back.
But anyways, moving on to the next game very quickly, Danny.
Yeah.
Warriors or Lakers, and actually for this one, can you give us a game prediction?
Oh, okay.
Could you?
I'm gonna be
Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6. I'm gonna be an extreme optimist. I'm gonna say Lakers in 7.
So you want a panic attack?
Yeah. I think that's the only way they can do it. To be quite honest.
Yeah.
So Lakers in 7.
All right. In the Eastern Conference, so for the West, we have the Nuggets and the Lakers for me and Danny.
Yep.
And in the East, Heat or Knicks. Man, as much as I love big time Jimmy Butler, I'm gonna see how far the Knicks can take this.
Yep. I was gonna say the same. I'm gonna say the Knicks, especially with Jimmy Butler's injury. I'm saying the Knicks. Yeah, the Knicks team is just deep. I think they just have to learn Miami. Um, I don't know if Tom Thibodeau has that coaching mentality in him, but they need to play a little faster. To be quite honest, like this Miami team without Jimmy Butler doesn't play as quick, but they need to play a little faster so that this Miami team can't set up. I mean, they only need a couple of passes, but they're too dangerous around the 3-point line. You need to play a little faster, eliminate that three a little bit, force them to take transition threes, which are tougher to make. And I think the Knicks have this game.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do Knicks in 5.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Knicks in 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
76ers and the Celtics. I mean, based off of that first game, I mean, you had Harden leading the charge. He literally told the team, "All right, everyone off the court."
Yeah, he said, "Everyone get to the locker room.
Everyone get back into mentality mode."
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, with Jason Tatum, the Celtics, they're really rough team. But if Embiid comes back, I think it's gonna be hard to beat the Sixers.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with the Sixers in 6.
I'm also going to go with the Sixers in 6.
Okay. At least I like how. Okay, I do and I don't like that we always agree on shit, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just debate about it later. I mean, obviously things can change, and you know the quality of play. Like for example, who knows? Maybe the Suns will turn it around, or maybe if the Lakers do beat the Warriors, they're gonna be like limping into the playoffs. You know?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna say that Denver Suns matchup. I think it's gonna go to Game 6. So I think the Suns take 2, and then it goes back to Denver. So it'll be a 2-2 series. Denver wins at home, and then they go back to Phoenix for Game 6, and Denver puts it away. That's what I think.
Controversial. Nuggets in 4.
Wow, you're insane.
It's in the membrane. Nah, it's okay. Not the first time, but yeah, that's my prediction. But do you have anything else to add before we move on, Danny?
I think the biggest other NBA news is talk shit get hit. Dylan Brooks was told by Memphis Grizzlies that he would not, under any circumstances, be picked up again in his free agency. So, I don't know. Dylan Brooks already kicked himself in the foot by opening his mouth.
I don't think that was the problem. I think it was his play. He literally disappeared right after that. So.
No, I mean, it's his attitude. It's all of it. I think if he shut his mouth, he had a bad game or a bad series. He had a bad series. If he went to post game interviews, he showed that in defeat he's still graceful. Then I think the team would have turned it around, picked him up maybe for a 1-year contract, not for the $20 million that he's trying to negotiate allegedly, but yeah, I think he really kicked himself in the foot. All this bravado, forcing the team to say, hey, we made this decision and we'd rather not, So, yeah, that's the only other news I got.
All right. Now, yeah, that was news of today, but yeah, you ready to move on? I mean, we went over our allotted time a bit, but it's all good in the hood.
Yeah, I mean, we can quickly go over the rundown.
Oh no,
sorry, the warm up.
No, I mean, this is gonna be I think it's gonna be a good topic for today, which I guess we're gonna move into now. So, as always, I mean, the warm up isn't necessarily a sports topic or something in the news. I mean, it could always just be something sports related. In which this week, I was just thinking, and I was like, I'm thinking. I was like, okay, maybe we could do something a little like way different because this is the whole point of this segment. So I was like, when is it too much sports and not enough life? And what I mean by that is like, when do you think about like, oh, this weekend I'm gonna watch this and that, or you're in the situation where it's like, oh well, I gotta go out with my friends or go to a family gathering and miss this game that that I wanted to watch. Like, where's like the line for that for you? Like for me, I guess as a sports nerd, a sports nut, like it's always kind of been blurred. Like when I was going to college, it did get difficult. Like I grew up like a huge USC football fan, and during high school it did kind of fade away. But that's because I was doing extracurriculars and doing sports myself. I used to run track and field and do cross country. So during those times, like cross country, that was in the fall, so it was kind of hard to watch USC games, especially if I had to wake up in the morning, go on a race, on a run, and then miss the early kickoff games for USC, or if I was just exhausted, wake up like at 5 p.m. and be like, oh shit, like there's a game on in an hour. But situations like that, or like prom or something like that, But like in college, it kind of just gets to that point too. 'Cause I was like, okay, like I go to school every day, and then on the weekends just do homework or go to work or whatnot, depending on what your schedule is like at the time. But now a little bit older, it does kind of get a little bit harder. I do have a girlfriend, I have a significant other, so it's like going out to go with family or to go eat or go do other things, whatever. And it's like, well, where do you draw the line? Or like if I work on the weekends, like how we do this podcast, for example, like we do it for fun, and we can't always cover everything. Like I know in the rundown, which we'll get to in a bit, kind of just sums up a lot of different things. We do that just to cover our bases as much as we can. It's not the best, but at least I know it exists, and it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does get kind of hard. But like, how would you say you handle it? I know, like, you've told me, like, dude, how in the hell are you gonna do all this? And I know you have a busy life as well, Danny. So like, how do you like handle like all of it?
Yeah, the way I do it is I just pick one sport. Pick the NBA. That's really the only sport that I follow, and I'll read sports headlines for everything else. And even within the NBA, I'm very selective of the games I watch, the teams I watch, when I watch them. Usually, it's when I get home, either cooking or washing dishes or doing something else, and I'll have the game on. Or if I'm relaxing, I try to watch, but if I can, I can't. On the weekends especially in the regular season, if I could pick it, or if I could watch it, I'll watch it. If not, then I'll just let it go and watch highlights later. And I think that's really great about sports and media now. Even if you don't have the time, all the teams kind of wised up and said, hey, instead of letting Joe Schmo chop up the game, we upload the highlights, we retain our fans, we can control the highlights and all that other stuff. It's really helped me, and I know especially my coworkers and everyone else that have families and have busier lives and stuff. You can still keep up with the teams you want, the sports that you want, and not have to commit 2 hours to every game, multiple times a week, just to say like, oh hey, I know what's going on with this team. I have to read a bunch of articles and be like, oh man, there's a bunch of rumors flying around, trade deadline, and all this stuff. It's exciting sometimes, but sometimes it's all too much. It's overwhelming. It's like having another job or trying to keep up with, celebrity gossip and stuff. It's just like, it gets a little crazy, but I think just, picking whatever you gravitate to and doing it in moderation, for a little bit, kind of took, especially when I dive deep into fantasy basketball, kind of takes over a little bit. And, I'm chasing that number one spot. So I need all the rumors. I need all the injury reports all the time. But, you find a little happy medium, and see if you can find a good spot where time invested and versus, time wasted, and you get a good return. So, it's different for everyone, but I just use it as something to do while I'm watching and accomplishing another task. So that's how I do it.
No, I feel you on that. Like during college, I got really into soccer, but it's only because like soccer is just worldwide. So like even when I wasn't doing anything, like if I needed a break, I could probably find a game with hopefully notable players or notable names of teams that I know. Mm-hmm. Like if Champions League was on, like those games are on around here, like around 11 a.m., 1 p.m. So I could watch those games. Or if MLS or Open Cup is on, I could watch those because they're in that era, early afternoon or nighttime games. Find those on Fox, ESPN, YouTube, wherever. So that's how I was getting like my sports fix for like the past couple of years. But even now, it's getting kind of hard because the sport is getting popular. I mean, you see, we cover it here all the time now. Like, it does get overwhelming. Okay, and it's like, dang, like all this stuff that I used to do, I can't do no more. Like, I can't go home and just lie down and watch all the highlights. Cause even then, it's like, damn, like I don't even want to watch all the highlights anymore. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, the other day I was trying to watch some of the games, and I was like, like I used to love just like watching all the highlights like in high school. I mean, this is like when MLS was still kind of figuring out their social media stuff. So like the games used to they would show the games, and then I would have to wait 2 days for the highlights to come up, and I would watch them like after like cross country practice or something. And that's how I would pass the time. And little by little, they kind of made them a little bit longer. And like I've recently, it's been a little bit of a struggle since like they're all in one go, since all the games are all in 1 or 2 days, which is cool. But it does make it a little bit hard just to like sit in my bed or my laptop and just watch for like an hour, 7-minute videos, like 14 of them or whatever consecutively. And it's like, like I don't know if I want to do that anymore. So I'm just like picking and choosing. Like I used to even sit down and watch the second division, the USL, and be like, oh, I could watch these lower side teams because, like it's a new market, it's a new area, like places over the country that you wouldn't expect soccer to be popular. But like I would do it. But even now I'm just like, it's like mentally taxing.
Yeah, it gets to be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really want to watch all these games. I mean, yeah, it sounds weird from someone that does a sports podcast, but it's like, no, like I'm trying to still, like, what's the correct word? Divert my time for life and other things that are now arising and, in our adulthoods nowadays. So, and I was just trying to figure out, like, what's important. Like, I like doing this podcast. Like, it's really fun. Like I say, we do it for fun. If you want to, you could pay us on our website or the Spotify for podcasters. There's a money thing there somewhere. Give us $1. I don't care. But, if I'm religious, obviously, like if God were to bestow us an opportunity to somewhat do this full time or help us do this a little bit better than what it is now, like I would definitely take it. But, as of right now, that just is not coming to fruition. And, it's going to take some hard work if I want to get there someday. But right now it does get taxing. Because you got to, figure. I know you get busy, Danny. Like sometimes I'll go on your Instagram and you're at some random party. I'm like, damn, food, chill.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm like, where'd you go, bro?
I think if I posted more, I'd seem a lot busier. But, I'm typically not super busy, but I just have, stuff to do here and there. Mm-hmm. But just as a side note, Robert, I mean, you've really been taking the lead on all this stuff. This is your baby. Rambling Runoff is your baby and your project. And I think you've been stellar, especially on the social media presence and keeping up with all this stuff. I know I get busy. I can't record sometimes, but, podcasting is hard work, and, you've done a really good job thus far. Everyone talks about, we're in LA. Everybody and their mama has a podcast, but it's tough work, especially, we haven't been super consistent. I think we're going to try to be a little more consistent, but, recording every week, especially a podcast like ours where you've got to do your research. You got to keep up that taxing part that you're talking about. It's a lot to do for every episode and to keep up every week so that you can bring that information into the episode. It's a lot.
I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, part of it goes to you. I mean, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have a name. We wouldn't have a graphic. So I appreciate it.
Do it together, man. Don't worry about it. Nothing but a thing.
I mean, my own graphic is respond to my tweets.
Oh, okay.
Make me look like a fool out here tweeting you, Danny. What do you think about this game, this trade?
Oh my god! You know what is crazy though? Like, I started getting those notifications, but since Elon took over, not to get controversial, but I don't get those mentions anymore.
Oh
like,
my!
It doesn't pop up as a notification. It's crazy. I don't know what's happening, but
you should probably update your phone, bro.
My phone is up to date. I mean, maybe I gotta play around with my settings in Twitter.
Update
but
the app. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'm being facetious.
No.
Other than that,
I mean, that's part of it,
pretty
man.
good.
The social media presence is part of it.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm still trying to figure it out here, guys. I just like doing this for fun. But
hopefully,
I think sports has just always really been a big part of my life, and I guess it is kind of hard to let go. But at the same time, it's like, what else I have been studying? I haven't been studying fucking Picasso's art. I'm studying how has LeBron James been semi-consistent, even though he's had a lot of up and down years. Like, I've been studying how is ultimate frisbee the fastest growing sport in the U.S.
Yeah.
You know, like, that shouldn't be my focus overall in life. But like, it's like that one TikTok meme. It's like, this isn't a hobby, this is my life. And I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but
I think you're doing it right, Robert. You know, pursue what you love what you do. You're doing it the right way. And you're putting your best foot forward. Eventually, it'll come. I think this podcast, you know, maybe eventually if we get enough viewers, we'll start getting sponsorships. You know, maybe we'll find different avenues to bring some revenue in. Maybe if we get a little bigger, possibly something will come up. But I think we're on the right track, and I hope 5 years from now, you're doing this still full time, doing what you love, loving what you do, and you know, pursuing your passion.
Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
But do you have anything else to add in regards to how you divide your life in sports?
No, I mean, I know I'm not doing a great job this year. I just got to find a balance, you know. It's here and there, you know, trying to balance everything else. Yeah, and most of the time it's just prioritize life first, and then, you know, where I have time, get some sports in, get some NBA in, you know, even if it's just golf, get some of that in. But yeah, it's just a balance, and it's different for everybody. But I just find the time where I can.
I mean, I think your NBA, I don't even think if anyone were to comment, they would say your NBA talk is pretty good. So.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, that's what I did. I picked one sport, and I know about that sport. And, you know, I don't know about the history of the sport and whatnot, but the modern era, anything about the past 2 seasons, I've got it.
And it is my dumbass. Hey, do you guys want to hear about NASCAR? The thing I used to watch when I was like a kid.
but which is amazing because you've kept up with so many sports. It's amazing, just how many hands that you've got your what am I saying? How many pots you've got your hand dipped in? You got a little bit of a flavor of every sport in your like Rolodex.
I mean, I'll say some flavors are better than others. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's nothing. I'm just like, what am I doing? Scrapping at nothing here.
No, but man, that's like the old saying, huh? Do you want to be a jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah, like,
you know,
you don't
which
want
one or the other.
I think I'll try to end it here. What I don't want is to like be focusing on a bunch of things because I'm not gonna be good at nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're honing your sports sword, which I think is exactly what you need for being in this industry, being in sports. You know, possibly eventually writing for sports and all that stuff. You know, I think you're on the right track, Robert.
Okay. But yeah, if you guys have any opinions on this topic, please let us know in the comments wherever you're listening this at. We really appreciate if you guys jump in. So if you hear this,
leave a comment
on Twitter,
even if it's just YouTube. I agree or I disagree.
Yeah, just put I like that warm-up thing and talk about how you try to dribble sports in life, and you know, we'll try to go from there.
Yeah.
But moving on now from the warm-up, if that's everything, I think we're good with our real life talk there of sports and life. I mean, we could probably come back to this later, of course, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I bet this will be a running topic here and there in future episodes.
Mm-hmm. But moving on to the rundown, which Danny, I promise we'll try to keep this quick. I know we do.
We're running long in this episode.
A little bit. I mean, I think we're on pace, kind of.
Oh yeah,
But
another 1:30, another long one for you guys.
A little bit. In the rundown, in the NWSL, starting it off, Portland is on top, with the OL Reign, and then the San Diego, I think they're called the Wave, are right behind them in third. Portland is just on fire right now. I mean, Portland's a hot spot for women's soccer. I just saw like an Instagram post the other day. It was like all the popular teams that are posted in the U.S. that get looked up, and it wasn't the Portland Timbers. It was the Portland Thorns that were the most like looked up team in the state, of Oregon. So take that as you will, but that's just a quick look into the National Women's Soccer League. And U.S. Women's National Team news, or I should just say U.S. Soccer Federation news. The U.S. Soccer Federation and the Mexican Soccer Federation have filed a joint bid to host the FIFA Women's World Cup, which I, for some reason, forgot to write down which year. But yeah, I think it'd be an interesting bid. Let me see. USA bid with Mexico. Quick Google search. Oh, I guess it'd be 2026. Okay, there you go. No, 2027. Excuse me. Yeah, USA Mexico announced joint bid for 2027 Women's World Cup. So, just give a quick opinion on that. I think it'd be great for the sport. I think the last time it was here in the U.S. was 2003. That was by default. Officially, I think it was 1999. So it'd be great to see it here. Of course, obviously, it's a joint bid with the Mexican Federation, with their women's side. So you get the games here in the U.S. and games in Mexico. So I think it'd be a good time considering the women's team is the most successful between the men and the women. I believe they have 4 World Cups. I mean, that's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, it'd be fun. What do you think? What would you think about that, Danny?
I mean, it'd be amazing, right? I think the U.S. in 2028 is gonna host, or sorry, 2026 is gonna host the Olympic Games between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. It's something similar. I think it'd be great. It would bring more eyes for U.S. audiences to soccer again.
Yeah.
I think the last time that happened was when the U.S. women's team made it pretty far. So I mean, and that was in the Olympics. That wasn't even the World Cup.
Are you talking about? Oh, okay. You're talking about this past Olympics?
No, that was in 2012.
What are you talking about?
The 2012. I think that was
okay.
the most hype around the women's soccer team, around soccer, I believe in general, when they were on that insane run. Yeah,
they were really good at that time. I mean, they were good this time around as well.
Yeah,
but I do know what you mean though.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it'd be a good time because you get the World Cup in 2026 here, the men's, then you get the Women's World Cup, and then you get the Olympics right after that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Dude, that'd be insane, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, the traffic would be ridiculous though.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I'm staying home. the whole 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
One of our former guest hosts on here, Jeremy Gonzalez, at some point has told me he doesn't care how much it is, but when the World Cup comes here, he will go to a FIFA World Cup match.
Ooh, okay. I think one match is not too bad. You trying to go to championship match or multiple matches?
Actually, I think he's trying to travel, if I remember correctly.
Wow. So you're trying to go to multiple matches?
Yes.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll make
fun.
that into fruition for us as well. But
oh yeah, I'd love to be there.
We got like 3 more years, so it's all good.
Yeah, time to save.
Exactly. Speaking of saves, the AUDL American Ultimate Disc League has begun. The season has begun. Not going to go too much into detail, but yeah, I've seen some good highlights, some good last second catches in for goals in the end zones, I should say. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a frisbee guy, so if you guys have time, go check out the AUDL. It's exciting. Shout out to Marquise Brownlee from the New York Empire. Hopefully, New York goes back to back and gets another championship this year. Moving on, in the XFL, which I know we haven't really covered a lot, but Here's the tad bit of news I could give you. The Arlington Renegades will face the DC Defenders in the XFL Championship game. I believe it's Saturday, May 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. You catch that game on ABC and ESPN Deportes. Let me double check. I don't know why. I want to double check that I got that right. Let me see. No, yeah, Saturday, May 13th. All right, there you go. Why a break? Maybe they're doing an all-star game or something? I don't know. That's why I was like, wait, but there's no game this weekend? But all right, it is what it is. But yeah, so if you're interested in some more football, go check out the Arlington Renegades against the DC Defenders in the championship game. Shout out to The Rock. Not sponsored.
Yep, not a sponsor.
But let me see what else we got on the rundown here. Danny, I know I mentioned aforementioned. You mentioned some NASCAR. So the race was supposed to be on Sunday, but there was a weather delay, so they moved it to Monday. Which I was gonna try to check it out, but I didn't pay attention to when they scheduled it. So they scheduled it not in the nighttime, but like in the morning.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had posted it on Instagram. I was like, wait, it finished already? So it was a daytime race. It was the worst 400 at Dover Motor Speedway. I believe it's the Monster Mile. I think that's what's referred to as. Or Dover Motor Speedway, basically. The winner of that race was Martin Truex Jr. His brother also won a race on that Saturday in the... I'm forgetting what it's called. Nationwide Series? Is it still the Nationwide Series? Correct me if I'm wrong. But he won the Saturday's race. So... shout out to Martin Truex Jr., who I think was also in a win drought for like a while. Somewhat of a sweep, I guess you could call it, the Truex family. Shout out to them. Next week's race, or this week's race, I should say now, it's Sunday, May 7th, 3 p.m. Eastern. You catch on FS1, is the Advent Health 400 in Kansas City at Kansas City Speedway. So it should be a good race. Moving on, the NFL draft just occurred. I did watch the first round. If you follow us on social media, I was tweeting and posting on Instagram. I'll go through the first 5 picks. Carolina Panthers took Bryce Young, quarterback. Houston Texans took C.J. Stroud. And they also got the third pick, in which they got William Anderson Jr., who's going to Houston. And the fourth pick, the Indianapolis Colts got Anthony Richardson. And then number 5, the Seattle Seahawks picked up Devon Witherspoon. Slight draft news. Will Levis did get drafted. He's going to Tennessee. So I know you don't know who this is, Danny. Will Levi Levis. He was the quarterback for Kentucky. He was projected to go in the first round. Can you guess what happened?
Ooh, what did he fall to? Deep in the second?
Yeah, early in the second.
Early in the second. Damn, man, that sucks.
But here's the worst part. He was actually there.
Yeah, you know what? I think I saw a photo of him and his girlfriend. And I think the meme was...
girlfriend, bro?
Huh?
Why are you looking at his girlfriend?
Hey, man, the meme was... the meme was, you know...
They had all these...
Yeah, they're excited to go in the first round.
He had all these women around him.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
and
one
as
of them
soon
was
as he
his
fell to
mother
the second,
and his sisters,
everyone
so...
dipped. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he did get drafted. He's going to the Tennessee Titans. He just went home. I don't know. What do? You go to the first day and you don't get drafted. That kind of sucks.
Dude,
I know. I guess it sucks. I mean, I felt bad. I'm pretty sure he was like whatever about it. But, you know, it is what it is. And then, yeah. And then this guy, his name's Aaron Rodgers. He got drafted. Oh, no. He got traded to the Jets.
Traded to the Jets, yep. I saw that.
Yeah, Aaron
Jets
Rodgers
fans finally
Jets.
winning at something, you know?
I know, right? Let's see if this turns their luck around. I think even Aaron Rodgers was like, dang, that Super Bowl III trophy looks lonely. So let's see what happens now. The Jets getting a big name. Let's see where the Packers go now. I had a popular comment on Instagram when they did their first pick, and I was like, "They still have no skill players on this team," and everyone was just like, "This guy, like, dude, you don't fall asleep on them." I'm like, dude, this is why he wanted to leave.
Damn, serious.
But it is what it is. Moving on now. And the NHL playoffs are also occurring. Not the only thing happening in playoff time. Looking at the bracket, we got the Seattle Krakens going up against the Dallas Stars. The Las Vegas Golden Knights going up against the Edmonton Oilers. I think it's the Florida Panthers. There we go. Against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it's the Carolina Hurricanes, I think, this time, for real, going up against the New Jersey Devils. Let me just make sure again, because I keep saying it wrong. So, yeah, it's the Carolina Hurricanes. There you go. I got it right this time. Are you proud of me?
Yep.
And yeah,
definitely so
the
proud.
New Jersey Devils. So they're currently in the second round of NHL hockey. Unfortunately, my LA Kings, which I don't always get to talk about, were eliminated. They had a good run. Surprisingly as well, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have been pretty good the past 2-3 seasons, are out. And I think a lot of people expected the New York Rangers to do good as well. But, they're out now. But it's okay. And you want to hear something funny? I was about to say The Get Up. It's not The Get Up. What's the other one with Stephen A. Smith? I'm forgetting what it's called. First Take.
I don't know. Yep.
First Take. So the host asked him, Stephen A. Smith, another guy, which New York team is going to win a championship first. And then the guy was like, oh, the Rangers. And then the I think her name's Molly. She's like, okay, no, for real, pick a team. And then Stephen A. Smith was like, damn. I mean, he could say the Rangers, but I know nothing about hockey. All I know is, and I think I hate this part too. She actually knew what he was about to say. All I know is about hockey is that the puck is black, and as he said that, she also said that the puck is black. I'm like, you guys funny. Suck. You guys just threw hockey under the bus. And
seriously,
I don't know. And then Stephen A. Smith said something about some guy that he knows that he goes to games with occasionally. I'm like, bruh, you guys have ESPN has hockey on your programming, and you throw it under the bus. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, I know. Say something nice.
I don't know. It is what it is. I don't work there. But I think if I did this correctly, I did the rundown pretty quickly. Yeah, I think that's everything. Dan, do you have anything else to add in regards to sports or even life?
Nope, that's all. If you guys have any thoughts on anything that we talked about today, any thoughts on sports topics that we should cover next week or that we missed this week, leave them down in the comments.
Okay. But I think that's wraps up for everything. I'm gonna start chopping it up here. Thank you for listening to Rambling Runoff. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, like the video if you can. It really helps us out. If you're on Spotify, if it allows you to, give us 5 stars, give us a follow there. Thank you for listening. If you're on Stitcher, Amazon Music Podcasting, Spotify for podcasters, where else we at? Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. If you want to hear us on the socials, find us on Twitter at Rambling Runoff, Instagram as well, Rambling Runoff, sometimes on TikTok at Rambling Runoff. I just like to say I really appreciate whoever's been listening to our podcast. I've been seeing our numbers go up a little bit. Thank you for listening to us. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. And like how Danny's kind of been saying here, and if you're new here as well, sorry if we didn't really introduce ourselves. We do this for fun. We do it when we can. And yeah, thank you for supporting us and for checking out our podcast.
Yeah, we're just 2 guys shooting the shit, school buddies, talking about sports. Thank you guys for listening. It really means a lot, to know we're not just putting this shit out into the ether,
Yeah, thank you to.
So thank you guys.
Who's found this podcast? But,
whoever you are, thank you.
But just to put the bow on top, I've been your host, Robert Rios, for Danny Tan. Hopefully you join us again. See you next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Woo!